Hello! Today we are going to talk about pranayama. Pranayama, it is step number 4 in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Word pranayama from Sanskrit means prana, it is life energy, and yama, it is control. So usually we understand word pranayama as control of life energy or control of life energy prana. Also in yoga we understand pranayama as breathing technique that we are going to talk about. There are different pranayamas, and today we are going to talk a little bit more about them. So what is prana? Prana, it is life energy that pervades everything. We can find prana energy in everything, in everywhere. For example, in nature there are a lot of prana energy, and this is the reason why we feel very good when we go to nature, when we go for a walk in nature, because then our energy body, it fills up with good prana energy. For example, in city parks there are also prana energy, not that much. And for example, in the city where there are no nature, there are almost no prana energy. That is the reason why people feel very not comfortable when they live for a very long time in city. So there are a lot of different pranayamas in yoga. For example, full yogic breathing, for example, Kapalabhati, for example, Nadi Shodhana, for example, Ujjayi, also Bhastika, Brahmari, Suryabhedana, Sitali, Sitkari, and other pranayamas. And all those pranayamas, they have different benefits, they have different techniques how to do those pranayamas, and also they have different, it's called contraindications, when it is not recommended to do pranayamas. For example, if there are some certain problems with health, so some pranayamas are not recommended to do. So all those pranayamas, they have different levels of difficulties, and some of them can be used for beginners, and some of them can be used for advanced practice. So for example, in the beginning there are pranayamas when we do breathe in and breathe out, and for example on the later our practice, in advanced practice, we also add kumbhaka. Kumbhaka, it is retention of breath. It means when we hold our breath. So kumbhaka can be after inhale, and kumbhaka can be after exhale. So in the beginning we do in pranayamas breathe in and breathe out without kumbhaka, without hold of breath, and when we go to advanced level, then we do pranayamas with kumbhakas. And we can do, for example, breathe in, then hold, and then breathe out. Or we can do breathe in, for example, hold, then breathe out, and then hold. So there are different pranayamas, and they offers to do it a little bit different by that technique. So for example, benefits of pranayama, like there are one of the most popular pranayama, full yogic breathing. Full yogic breathing, it is a breathing technique when we use full our lungs. There are 3 parts of our lungs: abdominal part, middle part, and higher part. And by doing full yogic breathing, we use full our lungs. So for example, benefit of full yogic breathing, it stimulates our intestine with blood. Also, it makes better our digestion. It also helps to make our lungs work much better. It expands our lungs. Then it also helps to balance our nervous system. Then also it helps to calm down our mind. It also helps to normalize our blood pressure. It also helps to focus our attention. It also helps to remove tiredness from our body, from our mind. It also helps to remove carbon dioxide from our body. So this is one very simple pranayama, and it has a lot of great, huge benefits for our body and also for our mind. Usually we do pranayamas in posture. There are recommendations in which postures we can do pranayama. There are postures. Padmasana, it is full crossed legs, full lotus pose. Then Ardha Padmasana, it is half lotus pose. Then it is Sukhasana, it's just crossed legs simply. Now I'm in Sukhasana. I just simply crossed my legs. And there are one more asana. We call it Vajrasana. And we need to do it like that. We sit with straight spine, legs here, and we can do pranayama. So basically, those 4 postures are recommended to do pranayama. Now, what is the reason why do we need to cross our legs? I will try to explain you the main idea why yogis are crossing their legs. In our body, there are 5 different pranas. It is apanavayu, it is samanavayu, it is pranavayu, it is udanavayu, and it is vyanavayu. And those 5 different prana energies, they are responsible for different parts of our body. For example, apanavayu, it is responsible for our lower side of our body. Apanavayu goes from this place to till down, and apanavayu, it is responsible for all processes that goes when we are we're doing something when we leave something from our body. For example, when we go to toilet, what we do? We use apanavayu energy to remove excretion processes from the body. How to say? That our excrements go away. And for example, also when, for example, a woman borns a baby, she also uses apanavayu energy, and then with help of apanavayu, it can born baby. So apanavayu, it is responsible for lower side of our body. Then, for example, another energy, we call it samanavayu, and samanavayu responsible for our digestion. Then pranavayu, it is in lungs area, and it is responsible for our lung area, that our lungs and all that's related with our lungs, that it would work great. Then udanavayu, it's related with our head, and it is energy that's responsible that our head, that our brains and all functions in this place, that they work very well. And also last energy, 5 energy, it is vyanavayu, and it is our aura or aura. did you know this word, aura? Aura, it is like energetic cocon that goes around our body. So now let's get back to our crossed legs. So when we crossing our legs, then we block our lower energy that we are calling apanavayu, and then more good energy can go up, can move up to your higher energy levels or to your higher chakras. So please remember that we do pranayamas with straight back. So pranayamas, it is very powerful techniques that help us to clean our energy from our nadi channels, and it also helps us to get more energy. And for example, there are pranayamas that can help us to relax our body and mind. There are pranayamas that can help get more energy. There are pranayamas that can help balance our active energy and our calm energy. For example, when we do Nadi Shodhana, we balance Ida and Pingala energies. Ida, it is energy that is responsible for calm energy of our body and mind, and Pingala, it is active energy that's responsible for active energy in our body and mind. So different pranayamas gives different results, and when you are doing pranayamas, so you need to think about why do you need to do pranayama. It means what exact thing you want to achieve by doing pranayama, and by that for you it will be easier to understand which pranayama you should choose. So pranayamas, it is very powerful techniques, and masters of yoga, they sometimes compare pranayama with tiger. Tiger, it is animal that is very strong, that can be sometimes even dangerous. And you know, if for example you have a goal, for example you need to go to top of the mountain, and if you will catch up a tiger, and if you handle him, you can jump on tiger, and tiger will very fastly will help you to reach your goal on the top of the mountain. But if this tiger will understand that you are not able to handle him, so probably tiger can eat you. So the same happens with pranayamas. If you are not prepared for such pranayamas, those pranayamas sometimes can extract some negative sides of your inner qualities. How does it happen? For example, I will give you a different example. For example, there are children and there are grenade. So if you will give a grenade to children, if they will take off the switch, they can hurt themselves and they can hurt even others. So the same happens, for example, in our kitchen. For example, in the kitchen there are knife, and if you don't know how to use knife, probably it can make some injuries to you or to others. The same happens in pranayamas. If you try to do pranayamas that is over your level of understanding, over your level of your preparation, then those pranayamas can extract something from yourself that you are not prepared to
experience.
So, because of that, in yoga, there are security requirements for pranayamas. And security requirement for pranayama, it is to practice pranayamas, you need to apply in your life and follow yama and niyama principles. It means ahimsa, satya, asteya, and all other principles. How does it work? What is yama niyama? Yama niyama, it is principles of life that when you apply those principles, you start to live very moral life in relationship with other people, with surroundings, with animals, and so on. It means when you apply yama and niyama principles in your life, your way of thinking or way how you see the life, it becomes much more moral. You don't try to do something bad for others. You live very, very pure life. It means when you live by yama niyama, it really makes a huge difference. It's very huge benefit to do that. So to practice pranayamas, you need to apply yama and niyama principles. And that's the reason in Patanjali Yoga Sutras we can find that there are 8 limbs, and first 2 limbs are 5 yama principle, first limb, then second limb 5 niyama principle, then goes asana, and then goes pranayama. So it means that before doing pranayama, we need to apply yama niyama in our life. So, for example, if there are some qualities, like negative qualities of your character, for example, anger, aggression, jealousy, lust, greed, some kind of bad habits, negative emotions, some kind of desires, some kind of attachments. So when you do pranayamas, those negative things, of those negative qualities of your inner self, they can grow or expand or show up. For example, if you have a quality like anger or aggression, then if you will do pranayama that gives you energy, so when you will have more energy, you will be even more aggressive to other people. And this is the problem, because if you will become more aggressive for other people, then you will hurt yourself by doing that, and you will hurt others. If you, when you will do that, you will create negative karma, and it will give you a lot of many problems in the future. So yogis, serious yoga teachers, serious yoga masters, they know about that, and they never gives a person, if he is not prepared, they never gives hard or strong or difficult pranayamas. So if you want that everything would go very smooth, very great in yoga practice for you, in pranayama practice, so all we need to do is we need to follow yama and niyama principle. It means we want to be in our life as good people as possible. We need to be as moral people as possible, like the maximum of our moral values that we can give, that we can share with others. So it is really important. Also, there are another requirement to do pranayama practice, and it is to do pranayama, you need to be vegetarian or you need to be on vegan diet. Vegetarian means you do not eat meat, you do not eat fish, and you do not eat eggs. It means you do not eat any animal. So why is that? It is because when you eat meat, fish, eggs, it creates toxins inside of your body, and those toxins, it's like a poison. And this poison, your toxins from this meat, when you do pranayamas, it spreads, you're like activating your whole system, you're activating all processes inside of you. And if there will be poison, like toxins inside of your body, all those toxins, poison, will expand in your whole body. So this is another requirement what we should keep when we practice pranayamas. Also, it's actually not only about pranayamas. When you do yoga practice, it's also the same recommendations to be at least vegetarian, or now it's actually very popular to go even vegan. And also please have in mind that if you go vegetarian or if you go vegan, so your food that you are eating, it should be
healthy, balanced,
full. Your range should be your range of vegetarian diet or a vegan diet. It should be very full of everything. So it not should be junk food or bad food. It should be like very, very balanced, balanced food, as balanced as possible. Also, before doing pranayamas, it is very valuable to do Shanka Prakshalana. Shanka Prakshalana, it is one of the shatkarmas. It's one of the cleansing techniques of yoga. And for example, if you will do some shatkarmas, or for example Shanka Prakshalana, before doing your pranayama practice, for example, if you started to do yoga before some time and now you realize that, oh, it's time to start to add even pranayama practice to your yoga practice. And if you will do then shatkarmas, it will remove all toxins, all that poison that is inside of you. It means all negative toxins that we create through our eating bad food or through our other bad habits. And those toxins, they sit inside of us. And when we do shatkarmas, when we do, for example, Shanka Prakshalana, it removes all toxins. So you will have even more energy, you will have better feeling, your health becomes better, and it is very, very, very helpful. Just please, before doing Shanka Prakshalana, just please know that you need to very good and carefully to study how to do that Shanka Prakshalana. It is very, very great method that a lot of yogis are doing, and they're very happy about that. If we add shatkarmas to our pranayama practice, then it will give maximum positive benefits for our yoga practice. Also, by doing pranayamas, we learn how to calm down our mind, because breathing and the way how our mind works, it is very related. For example, if you feel very stressed, if you always feel that your mind is very, very active, always rushing, searching, always want something, desires, addictions, and similar things. So by doing pranayamas that can help you to relax, it can help you to calm down and to relax your very active mind. So it is very helpful in our usual modern life. when everything happens very, very fast. Also, success in pranayamas depends on parampara, from which you get pranayama. What is parampara? Please imagine there are teacher and there is student, and then teacher, student, teacher, student. It means there is master, and this master gives knowledge for his student. Then the student becomes master, and then he shares knowledge for his students, and then this student becomes master and shares knowledge to his students. So parampara means lineage of teachers and students, lineage of masters and students. So the best, the higher quality it will be parampara, the better result you can get in pranayama practice. Also, there is another point of view that, for example, if you were practicing some certain yoga practices or pranayamas in your previous lives, so if you were doing them in this life also, then you will get much better result in this life, in those pranayamas. For example, there are 5 different pranayamas, and if you'll try 5 of them, so some of them will be easier for you to do, and you will have more better result than in other pranayamas. So it means that probably in your past lives you were already practicing those practices, and by doing those pranayamas or other yoga practices in this life, you already have knowledge and experience in them. So if you will do those practices, they will give you even much better result, because you already have experience with them. Also, for us, it is important to understand what are those impurities in our energy. What are those impurities in our Nadi channels? In Hatha Yoga Pradipika, we can find mention that we have 72,000 Nadi channels. And those Nadi channels, they become impure with negative emotions like anger, greed, aggression, jealousy, lust, and other negative emotions, negative qualities of our characters. Then also our Nadi channels becomes impure by addictions, addiction to alcohol, addiction to tobacco, addiction to coffee, and all other addictions. Also, it becomes impure by attachment to sensual pleasures. It means all those attachments, they give impurities for us. For example, attachment to eat candies, or attachment to eat chocolate, and similar. And all other negative aspects like negative habits, negative way of thinking, they all give us impurity in our Nadi channels. So pranayama can help us to clean those impurities and raise our energy up. It happens through austerity, through penance, through self-restraint, because when we do penance, askeza, then quality of energy changes. Also, when we do pranayamas, we learn how to make long inhale and long exhale. For example, please remember dog, how dog breathes. And by doing that, he does not get prana energy. Similar happens with modern person, with modern people. Because of stresses, because of very active mind, they breathe only by upper parts of their lungs. And because of that, they almost did not get prana. For example, dogs, they live from 10 to 15 years, approximately. Now please remember turtles. Turtles, they breathe very slowly and they move also very slowly. And turtles live from 200 years to 500 years. So yogis, they learn to make very long inhale and very long exhale. And it helps them to absorb that prana to their energy body. Also, when we do kumbhaka, it helps us to increase, to redirect energy through the whole our body. So, pranayamas, it is techniques that can help for you in your yoga journey to live more altruistic, more selfless life that is dedicated to the benefit of all living beings. Because when we do pranayamas, when we do yoga practice, we also get more energy. And it is very important to know and understand how to direct that energy to the benefit of all living beings, to serve all living beings, to share knowledge with all living beings. For example, yoga masters, they share their energy to uplift all humanity. They share knowledge, they share wisdom, they share yoga practices, they share about pranayamas, they share about scriptures, about wisdom from scriptures. And by doing that, they're directing their energy to the benefit of all living beings, to the benefit of all humanity, to the benefit of environment. They also help even in this, in making environment more better. So for us, it's important to remember that to practice pranayama, it's not about getting energy for selfish desires. It's not about getting energy for our ambitions. It's not about making our life better to get some sensual pleasure. No, pranayamas, it's not about that. When we do yoga practice, when we do pranayamas, then by doing those practices, we need to learn how to direct our energy, our time, our resources to maximum benefit of all living beings, to maximum benefit of all humanity. So, by uplifting other people, we also uplift ourselves, and pranayamas are method that can help us to do that. So that's all about pranayamas. If you will have questions, feel free to write it in comments. I hope it will be valuable for you. That's all for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Goodbye.